Hello everyone. Are you worried about missing the critical security alerts from your environment in the alert fatigue? Are you also worried about operationalizing the security findings in your environment? My name is Mayank Noni. I'm a senior solution architect with Amazon Web Services Singapore, and today I'll help you to address those concerns and also show you a demo of the same. So this session is going to be a level 200 and above session. So a basic understanding of the security concepts and AWS Security Hub is desired. By end of this session, you will have a level 200 understanding of operationalizing the findings from AWS Security Hub. And you'll also learn how to show the findings in terms of tickets on ITSM, Information Technology Service Management tool. We will begin with defining a problem statement for today's session and then proceed with a demonstration of the solution in action. So at AWS, we believe in walking backwards. Let us define a problem statement or an objective that we are trying to accomplish, and the forthcoming content would connect back to this objective and form a storyline that we would see coming to a fruitful conclusion by end of today's session. So the problem statement is, how do we operationalize these security events? In any enterprise environment, it is not uncommon to see thousands of alerts on a daily basis, which will often lead to alert fatigue. Frequent alert about cybersecurity threat can lead to so-called alert fatigue, which numbs the cybersecurity staff, resulting in longer response time or missed alerts. The fatigue in turn can also create a burnout in the IT department. The cybersecurity leads the desire that the security staff should spend more time on actionable alerts while reducing the time spent on false leads. AWS Security Hub is a cloud security posture management service that performs best practices checks, aggregates the alerts, and enables automated remediation. Here's a quick recap of the problems AWS Security Hub helps you to address. Number 1, compliance. Compliance is critical for many AWS users that face a myriad of internal and external compliance requirements as they migrate to the cloud. Compliance can also help to ensure that accounts and resources are properly configured, which is a top pinpoint and priority for majority of users. Number 2, AWS and non-AWS users are typically using dozens of different security tools. They all have different data formats that needs to be parsed and normalized before the data is actually analyzed. Large organization can spend thousands of hours on doing this job. Number 3, AWS users may face a handful to tens of thousands of alerts on daily basis, depending on the tools that they are using and the complexity of their environment and the configuration as well. This can be too much for a human to handle, often leading to missed alerts. That can be a critical alert, So in today's demo, we are going to focus on this part. And number 4, customers want a coveted single pane of glass that brings together their compliance and security information, that too across multiple regions and multiple accounts. This is how the continuous security monitoring for AWS Security Hub looks like. Towards your left, you would see we will begin with understanding the attack surface, and then we will proceed to detecting the threats. Thereafter, we will investigate, correlate, and triage the security issues, and then move to respond and remediate. So today's session, we are going to focus more on the respond and remediate portion. This is how the AWS Security Hub information flow looks like. AWS Security Hub will perform the security best practices check, aggregates the alert, and then send them to the IT Service Management Console, which is ServiceNow in our demo. The tickets then get allocated to the Security Operations Center or SOC. The SOC engineer will close the alert after remediating the issue. We can also automatically remediate the issue which are frequently reported without even getting the engineers into the picture, thus reducing the overhead on the SOC teams. But for today's demo, we will only stick to the ITSM integration part. Let's quickly move to the demo section. So what you see on your screen right now is AWS Security Hub's summary page. And on this page, you can see several standards. I'll just name a couple of them, like PCI and AWS Foundation Benchmark. And then you see how many of the checks have been passed and how many checks are failing. So this page gives you an overall snapshot of your security posture. There are some interesting findings as well. Which service is contributing to the highest number of alerts? Security Hub is the service that is creating the highest number of alerts, followed by System Patch Manager, Inspector, Config, and Guard Duty, which are not creating any alerts at this point of time, but they can also generate alerts and contribute to the Security Hub findings. We'll move on to the finding side. On the finding, we will filter by the criticality or the severity of the alerts, and we will filter by the most critical events, which is categorized by critical severity. Let's pick one random event from here and then work on the same. Let's work on the security group should not allow unrestricted access to ports with high risk. We can click on this, and then we can see that the workflow status is new. So this is a newly created event, right? And then there is a finding ID associated with this particular alert. What we are going to do is we are going to copy this finding ID, and let's quickly understand what is this alert all about. This alert is telling us that more than the required ports are opened for any 000/0 that may create a trouble when it comes to the compliance check. So now we'll head over to the ServiceNow console, and on the ServiceNow console, I'm going to filter the finding ID I copied from that console, the Security Hub console, and then see whether that finding ID is reflecting here as well. So as you can see, the finding ID is here. It is new, right? And thereafter there was an incident created against this finding ID. Let's look for this incident. Or the easier way is to basically just copy it and search for it in the ServiceNow console. So ServiceNow has now shown us the incident that was created against this finding. It has been allocated to one of the SOC engineers. The category is software, and the service is AWS Security Hub. Now, if I were the engineer, I would be able to see that this alert is all about having unrestricted incoming traffic on a security group for these specified ports, the RDB port, the SSH port, right? So I know which SOP to follow. So it has helped me to operationalize the finding ID. It won't go missing because there is an automatic ticket created against every single finding. Now the security engineer would work on this ticket and then finally resolve it. So when the ticket is resolved, it has to carry a resolution code as well, that it is a known error. After this ticket is resolved, the status of this ticket or this finding will also change to resolved here, right? So we just saw how AWS Security Hub helped the cybersecurity leads to not just reduce the alert fatigue, but also operationalize the entire process from the point of creating a finding ID all the way to creating a ticket against that finding ID. So as you saw that the tickets were automatically created and would remain open until they are resolved. This helped in operationalizing our incident resolution process, and this would also ascertain that the critical events or tickets are not missed. Thanks for your time today. I hope you learned something valuable today and it was useful for you to attend this session. Thank you and have a great day ahead.